Hey everybody, GravyTrain here with another episode of GravyTraining. This one we're going to cover the elves. This is Hero Spotlight number 29. Willow, Nimreal, and Daeris. They're the elves that I haven't done yet. There is one other elf that I have touched on, I believe. Yeah. Anywho, without further ado, let's get through these. So here we've got Nimreal, Lady Nimreal, the lovely Lady Nimreal, or the normal Lady Nimreal, either one. She's an elf rogue, kind of sucks. Not sucks, but just is not as good as the meta, so. Got Elven Grace, all the elves do, takes significantly less damage from crits, and does 2x damage to flying enemies, of which there are only like a dozen or so. Magical takes less damage from non-physical attacks. Pyrojectiles. Allies' ranged physical attacks have a chance to burn. Some notable heroes with ranged physical attacks are Deadeye. I believe Oros or Kozar has a couple of ranged physicals, things like that, so they have a chance to burn. Burning accuracy. Attacks against burning targets can't be dodged. Second Wind gains 1 energy and haste after getting a killing blow. The haste is actually pretty nice. And that's it. Her stats are meh. Alright. She does have an epic, if I recall. She does. Gives 30% defense. Yeah, defelf. 30% defense. 20% max health, 20% skill. And it gives a 30% chance to attack target and burning enemies for 2x damage. Bonus damage for each debuff on targets. Kind of obscure. So, on a fire team, maybe. So, her abilities. She's got Get Over Here. Yeah, which is a ranged physical attack for 3116 base damage and a chance to daze, which gives a target 46% chance to miss, does extra damage to flying targets. I don't know if that's extra damage to flying targets. I'm assuming, because she already does extra damage to flying targets. Deadly Barrage is a ranged physical attack on all enemies for 1830 base damage and a chance to wound. And because this is a ranged physical attack, it has a chance to burn too. So, yeah, not terrible. And Phosphorus Arrow, ranged physical attack, 2500 base damage that purges all buffs. That one's not terrible either, but the damage is kind of lacking, and that is the big problem. They don't have a lot of stamina, like they can't take a lot of hits. They're not very resilient. And they don't do a ton of damage. So, let's just make this easier and say elves. Yeah, Indigo's the other elf. Indigo, in my opinion, is really the worthwhile elf. Maybe Daeris, but we'll go to Willow. I have Willow runed for something. I forget what. Maybe it was questing or something like that. So, she is a fast elf rogue. Nimreal is not fast, so there's that. I have her runed. I mean, this is runed, and her stats are garbage. Like, oh, I know why. I've got runes on her because I'm storing runes on her. So yeah, disregard these runes. Yeah, it's my crappy plus health runes, whatever, that I don't quite want to salvage yet. So she's got Elven Grace. We talked about that. Nature Heart increases health by 15% for all nature allies. Not all that useful. Health, we've talked about it. Not all that useful. She's fast. And a quick feat that gives a 25% chance to dodge ranged attacks. But dwarves. So, yeah. Even I mean, dwarves are eventually gonna not be the meta, but they're still gonna be there. So she does have an epic. Gives her, it's a terrible epic. 30% max health, 20% defense, 20% skill, 30% chance to do 2 attacks, dealing 2x damage. Woohoo! Garbage. So, Sniper Shot, now remember Willow is like the second hero you get in the game, so you've all used Sniper Shot and stuff like that before. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. Ranged physical attack, critical attack for 1800 base damage and purges 1 buff, and it ignores armor. Yay. Evasive Shot, ranged physical shot from cover for 2815 base damage, and a 63% chance to dodge the next attack. Taxa. Ignores armor. Yay. Arrow Barrage. Arrowed. Ranged physical attack on all enemies for 1438 base damage. Woohoo! That's all there is to Willow. Last but not least, Daeris. Fast Elf Rogue. Her stats. She has Elven Grace. We've already talked about that. Magical. We've talked about that. Shadowborn. So she is fear immune. Heals instead of taking damage from dark attacks. And deals extra damage to feared enemies. So that's not terrible. Fast. And then has Elven Shroud. So like Shade has a Shroud, she has the Elven version. And that is elf allies gain Shrouded for 1 turn, where they take significantly reduced damage and are immune to all debuffs, except for those that say they're bypass immunity. She does not have an epic, although she would actually probably be just about right with an epic. But Paranoia Shot is a ranged basic attack doing 1200 base damage that has a 100% base chance to fear on crit. So, yeah, alright. Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain of sorrows. Not sorrow, sorrows. So it's a ranged physical attack on all enemies for 2200 base damage. That reduces target's max health permanently. The damage is unhealable, much like Braum. Debilitating Shot. Ranged physical attack for 2832 base damage with a 100. Oh, jeez. I don't know what about making videos makes me tired. Probably all the talking. 100% base chance to debilitate, which is attack, defense, skill, and crit all reduced by 73%, and it starts powered. 73, 74, whatever. And finally, Vampiric Barrage is a ranged physical attack on all enemies for 2350 base damage. Heals for 112% of the damage dealt. For those of you good at math, you realize that 112% is more than the damage you dealt. But, meh. In the right, like, I did a bunch of experimenting when she got kind of her overhaul and her buff, and anywhere that she was good, you could replace her with somebody else and they would be better. Not terrible, but you're winning kind of like despite her, not because of her. So, yeah. Already covered Indigo, so yeah, that's it. Remember to hit a thumbs up, subscribe if you didn't, hit the bell, check out the Discord. Yeah. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes.